Hello, I'm Bill Newman, and if you're watching this video, I should be your laboratory instructor for Chem 141 this fall semester. It all starts here in the hall. When you come in, you will come in just the way I'm coming in, and what you will find is that there will be these Erlenmeyer flasks with cutout numbers on them. What we will do, or what you will do, is you will come in and you will align yourself under one of these flasks with a number. All right, the numbers are 1 through 5, 11 through 16. That will be your number for the entire semester. You will wait here until an instructor opens the laboratory door and lets you in. So you will then file in, maintaining proper social distance, and you will come into the laboratory. This is the laboratory. This is a little foyer area. You have a place to hang your coats, jackets, whatever, and hang a knapsack or a book bag or put it on the shelf, whatever. All right. So as you come into the lab, all right, this is going to be the lab proper. I hope you can see it well enough. All right. And what we're concerned about is safety, not just the COVID thing, but with the chemical safety that has been an issue forever. All right, so we want to keep you safe. So what you're going to do is you're going to come right in and you're going to go to your workstation, and you will be assigned a workstation the first day you come to lab. Okay. So you see that there's a pack on the desk here. That's a no-no, right? That pack should have been left hanging or stuffed into that cubby. All you want to bring to your lab station is lab procedure, lab notebook, any essential materials, perhaps a calculator that you will need to perform the lab. Okay. Now, lab safety is a two-part proposition. The college does stuff for your safety, and you do stuff for your safety. So let's look at what the college provides for a safe laboratory environment. Let's start with the hoods over here. We have 3 hoods that provide ventilation. The hood is not automatically on. This button is nice and handy. All it does is turn the light on. It doesn't turn the hood on. This button turns the hood on, and you will know when the hood is on because you can hear it. We have 3 hoods. Can you pan? We have 3 hoods. When you are told to work in a hood, work in a hood. There are experiments that generate noxious, toxic vapors that are not good for us. We don't want to breathe them. We don't want you to breathe them. The mask will not protect you from them. All right. So when it says work in a hood, work in a hood. There aren't too many experiments that we have to work in a hood, but there are a couple. We also have these guys here, which just get rid of nuisance gases, things that are stinky, but don't necessarily harm us. And we can and will turn those on as necessary. All right. And after you're comfortable here, you can just raise your hand and say, Newman, turn on the station ventilator. This stuff is bothering me, and I will be happy to do that. Okay. All right, so what else do we have? We have ventilation, especially now with the social distancing we're trying to accommodate. You will have more than enough room in the laboratory to work. You won't have to worry about bumping into anyone. In fact, once you get to your workstation, and let's say this was your workstation right here, most of the time we will try and have everything you need in place, and you won't have to move a step, all right? If you do find that you need something, raise your hand, and one of the instructors will get over there, and we will get you what you need. We're trying to keep you from moving around as little as possible, all right? So ideally, you would walk in the door, come to your workstation, perform the lab, close up, and get out of here, all right, without ever take another step, all right? But that's probably not going to happen for real, but we're going to try and see how close we can get. Now, one of the questions you want to ask yourself every time you come into a new place, like a chemistry lab, is how can I get out if I can't get out the way I came in? All right, so if there's something going on that forces us to evacuate this lab, how are you going to do that? We have emergency exit. At the back of the lab. This is the perfect emergency exit. One step and you're out of the building into the fresh air, and that's what you want. Most of what we worry about are large amounts of toxic or caustic gases that would interrupt your breathing. All right. This door is alarmed. The alarm does not stop when the door closes. So don't use this as a shortcut to the college cell because it will send off the alarm. The alarm has to be shut off with a key. All right. But we wanted an alarm because if we're using this door, we want people to know that we have an emergency in the lab that might require security or the fire department or whatever. All right. So that's why the door is alarmed. All right. This is one of two labs. If we walk along the back wall here, you will come into what we call an instrument room, which you will need from time to time. Our good balances are in here. And then the next lab over is what we call the organic lab. But each lab, each room, has the same emergency exit. So if you get to the back wall, just move along the back wall. You should be able to find an emergency exit that will get you outside quickly. All right. So that's what we're doing here so far. The college also provides an eye wash and a safety shower. If you get something caustic in your eye, let me know immediately, and I will drag you kicking and screaming over to the eye wash fountain. And with the weight of my shoulder and arm, I will force your face into the eye wash fountain, and I'll put my hands in front of your face, and with my fingers, I will force your eyes open. And with the foot pedal, I will operate the eye wash fountain. We're supposed to keep you here for 15 minutes to make sure we get everything out of your eye. That's an awfully long time, so bear with me. Recognize that the water that feeds the eye wash fountain is just from the cold water line. So it's not going to be, in January, it's not going to be a particularly fun thing to do. But if you follow safe practices, we should never have to use this. In the 40 some odd years I've been teaching, I've never needed the eye wash fountain. Right. Safety shower, different deal. If you get something on your hand, you're going to find it easier, or even probably up to your elbow, easier to just rinse that in the sink rather than try to use the safety shower. But if, for example, you have, this is distilled water, but it could just as easily be a jug of concentrated sulfuric acid, and you go to put it on your desk, and sulfuric acid is 2 to 3 times as heavy as water, and you miss, you hit the bottom of it, and now you're hip to ankles in concentrated sulfuric acid. You don't jump in the sink and rinse that off. All right, now you need the safety shower. I'm not going to demonstrate the safety shower because I showered this morning and I don't want to get wet again. All right, but you yank on this and it's a deluge shower, you will get wet. All right, now getting wet is not good enough. All right, what we will do is we'll try to get 2 students of the same gender, which in a class of 5 might be tricky, and they will hold up the fire blanket, which I'll explain in a minute, as a modesty shield, and you will be asked to disrobe, take your clothes off. All right. What happens when you get sulfuric acid on you like that? It catches in places and it stays there, and unless you get it off, you are going to end up with a burn and a scar. One case study that I remember is a gal had, this was a kind of a warm weather course, but she had kind of a low scoop top on it. She had a beaker of sulfuric acid. Whatever she did, she got bumped or pushed or she just hiccuped, tripped, I don't know. She dumped the stuff on her chest. The sulfuric acid ran down and got under her bra. By the time they got it rinsed off, her breast was permanently scarred. She sued and won. I don't want to be in that situation. All right, so you'll be asked to throw your clothes off. And then we have some old lab coats and stuff in the back. We will throw some stuff over so that when we take the modesty screen down, your modesty will be protected. Well, we will do our best, but we will also do our best to try and keep you safe. And taking off your clothes means your shoes. That sulfuric acid will fill those shoes up, and your feet will be in a sulfuric acid bath, and you do not want that. All right, that would be a very dangerous kind of thing to have to happen. All right, so eye wash fountain, safety shield. All right, I'm sorry, eye wash fountain and safety shower. Okay, so one other thing, that's the fire blanket. The fire blanket is used to put a fire out on your person. You could use the safety shower. The disadvantage of the safety shower is that when water puts out a fire, some of the water turns to steam and tends to exaggerate the area of the burn. So it's not your first choice. Doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means that if you can avoid it. Now, you don't have a lot of time to think, so do what you have to do. All right. Now, generally, when someone's on fire, their brain goes someplace else, and people just start to run and panic or whatever. So, if you do get on fire, all right, it's probably going to take some of your colleagues, staff, whatever, to come to your aid. The first thing they're going to want to do is trip you and get you on the ground, stop you from running. Someone else is going to get the fire blanket, bring the fire blanket, and throw it over you and suffocate the fire. That's the best way that we can deal with it. All right? So you have to cooperate with that effort. You're on fire, someone just tripped you and thrown you to the ground, and now they've covered you up with a blanket and they're beating on you. It's going to take a little bit of mental awareness to understand that they're doing this all in your best interest. Okay? Okay, there are some fire extinguishers. It's never been my position that it's the student's responsibility to engage in firefighting activities. The fire extinguishers are there for instructors, staff, whoever to use. Your obligation is to let me know that there is a fire. And I have to make a quick judgment as to what has to happen. If I say, leave the lab, that's all you do. You don't worry about your pack. You don't worry about what's going on. You just get out of the building, any exit that is possible. I will engage in firefighting activities, one of two situations. One, the fire is small enough that I can put it out and look like a hero, or you are personally at risk. Other than that, I'm going to be the last person out of the door, and I'm going to make sure that the fire alarm is pushed, and we'll sit on the lawn and we'll watch the fire trucks come and put out the fire. But other than that, that's your responsibility for a fire is just to notify the person in charge that there is a fire. Okay. Now, that's the stuff that the college does for you. What do you do for you? Well, you're going to start out first and foremost with a pair of safety goggles. All right. When you buy your safety goggles, and if you wear prescription glasses like I do, these glasses barely make it. Over these goggles, but they do make it. All right. But when I take them off, I usually get to take them both off, and I have to pull my glasses out from inside. So you want a pair of goggles that accommodate whatever safety glasses you have. Then you're going to want a plastic, not a cloth, apron. And I can always tell the people who are going to pass lab, they're the ones that can tie the lab apron behind their back without help. All right, so now what I like to see when students come to lab is as much exposed skin is not exposed. Long sleeves, long pants, shoes. You have to have shoes that have a covered toe. You can't be wearing sandals or flip-flops or that kind of stuff in the lab. Because if stuff does fall on your apron, it's going to go right to your feet and start working away on those toesies. So we want to keep your toes as protected as your hands. Now, how do we protect the hands? We use rubber gloves. This is a relatively thin 5 milliliter rubber glove. They offer probably the most dexterity in terms of picking stuff up, but I've seen any number of these pairs rip and tear. So your choice. Myself personally, I like the 7 mil gloves rather than the 5 mil gloves. But as long as you've got an intact pair of rubber gloves on, I'm happy. All right, a couple of issues with rubber gloves. One is that they are considered to be disposable, but they also do the job of protecting you from whatever gunky chemicals you have. So whatever this stuff is, it's on my rubber gloves. I don't even know it. So what do? I scratch my eye, and now I got red stuff all over my face, which could be some caustic chemical that would absorb through my skin and turn me red all over. Who knows? But it's on there, and I just got transferred it to my face. So just like in the hospital, no gloved hands to the face, period, ever, never. Okay? Now, the other issue we have with rubber gloves is that you guys are going to want to make a cheap pair of rubber gloves last all semester. So when you take them off, you're going to take them off like they should be taken off. But now when you take the glove off, you turn the glove inside out. And now you're going to put the glove back on a few moments later, after you've been to the restroom, whatever. And now all that red stuff, instead of being on the outside of the glove, is now on the inside of the glove. And so now you've managed to transfer some stuff. You can't see it too well, but you've managed to transfer some stuff to your hands, right? That's not good. All right. So if you're going to wear disposable rubber gloves, dispose of them every time you take them off. Do not try to reuse them. And sometimes getting a pair that's taken off back on is not worth the effort, as you can see. The other issue, still short. I went from 4 fingers to 3 here. New pair of gloves would have been easier, right? And that this one tore. All right, now, so I got my rubber gloves back on. These gloves have very short cuffs. So it's not unheard of that some of this nice yucky stuff that we just had could get inside my glove. All right? All the rinsing in the world is not going to help me. What I've got to do is I have to get this glove off quickly. So get it off. Since it's a hand thing, you should be able to rinse off in the sink without too much trouble and be safe, harmless. At this point, we would probably want to go to the restroom and wash with soap and water just to make sure we got all of the material off our hands. Okay. All right. When you're done, one of the reasons that you have a lab locker is so that you can keep your safety equipment in there. You're responsible for your safety glasses. You're responsible for your rubber gloves. You're responsible for your apron. And obviously, you're responsible for how you dress when you come to lab. Keep as much of your skin covered as you can. keep your closed-toe shoes on, and we will be happy. All right. Can't wait to see you all, and looking forward to at least an interesting and challenging semester here with all that we have to do to keep the COVID at bay. But hopefully we will be safe and learn some chemistry. Thank you.